And welcome to the Massena Arena, where this evening the Raiders take on Potsdam. We had a bit of a technical glitch, but we're on the air. And Robbie Whitcup with the puck in the Potsdam zone. Back to the blue line, kept in by Aaron Leduc. Puck goes in the corner. We're just underway here as we get ready for the start of today's game. Back to the point, Leduc shot gets blocked, goes back to the blue line. Toth keeps it in for Massena. Out there, the Robbie Whitcup line to start the game for the Red Raiders. Aaron Michaud out on one wing and Chris Levine on the other. Puck comes to Toth, steps by a check. Here's Toth at the center line, trying to backhand it, knocked down. He picks it up again and flips it in the zone. In behind for Potsdam is Danny Cook. Cook has it stolen away. Puck bounces in the corner. Catanzari trying to go back to the point. Potsdam's got a man breaking, trying to feed it to him. That's Bobby Ellis. There's a foot race for it. Ellis gets to it, but not before it crosses the red line for icing. Again, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Massena Arena. Jerry Manor along with Coach Dave McLennan. And, Coach, we had to do a little hustling there when our fellow broadcasters turned on their transmitter. It kind of bollocksed up our equipment.
I'll tell you, folks, if you could have seen Jerry, he could have made the U.S. Olympic 100-meter dash team. As little hustling, he was really moving to get us back on the air, but as usual, he does.
Off the face-off, here's the chance in front, and the backhander knocked down as the Raiders with a good opportunity. Devin Paquin, who was one of the heroes the other night. Here comes Potsdam, though, breaking it back the other way. They got a man in front, but the play is blocked. A good play by the Massena defenseman, Colin Lazare, and the puck moves back to the blue line. So both teams have had some good opportunities here as Brian Hatch, who's back in action, throws the puck around the boards. Comes to Paquin, trying to clear the zone. Paquin for Massena, out to center ice to Ramo. Here's Ryan Ramo off the board. Deep in Potsdam territory. Sandstoners up. Around the boards it goes as the Raiders trying to put some pressure on. Throws the check. The puck comes bouncing free to Hall, back to the point. He slides into the circle, but it's knocked down by the Sandstoners, and they bang it out to center ice. Massena's Nick Toth with it. He'll move it back the other way, trying to flip it ahead to Dupree. The puck comes bouncing in behind the Potsdam net, and finally it's picked up there by the Stoners. They'll move it around the horn and out to center ice. That was Joey Charlebois. Charlebois' headman pass goes to Bernie Adams. He loses it. Hall trying to come up with it. He can't. The puck goes bouncing to the Potsdam line, where it's picked up by Joe Charlebois. His headman pass just inside the Massena line. Aaron Leduc picking it up there for the Raiders. Leduc around behind the net. Puck flipped into the corner. Dupree comes back to try to help out. It flips ahead to Hall. His headman pass out to center ice. Here comes Eric McDonald trying to poke it by the defenseman. He gets knocked down, and picking up the puck is Matt Webster. He'll flip it over on the other side to Dan Cook. Headman stolen away. Here's an opportunity for Massena, busting in front. Here's the shot. Massena scores a goal as Thomas Mankey stole the errant pass and stayed with it right across the goal mouth and beat goaltender James McGuire cleanly, and the Raiders pick up the first goal of this game.
Thomas Menke, his third goal of the season, and it was a beauty. He just should be charged with highway robberies. He stole the puck right off of Matt Webster, right between the blue line and the red line, took it away from Webster, walked in on that right side. It was being pinched up, being chased by a Potsdam defender, but he cut across the crease and used his left arm to shield the Potsdam defenseman out of the way, and then reefed it up over the top of James Williams as he got Williams down and out of the play. A beautiful goal by Thomas Menkes.
I would guess that would have to be unassisted as he stole the puck. And now Massena with an injured player. Who is that?
It's got to be Colin Lazare, I do believe. That I'm not sure, but he went into the boards pretty hard. We'll wait and see if we can pick up the number. It is a 1 and an 8. I think it is Colin. He pinched down and Potsdam broke out 2-1, and Lazare made a great defensive play in his own end. But we'll wait and see. That'll be a big loss for the Raiders. But got on the board early. Definitely unassisted goal. Thomas Menkes, his third of the year.
Well, that was Lazare with a good play, as you mentioned. Here's the shot from just inside the blue line and the save made by McGuire. Puck dumped down the ice by the Sandstoners. I believe it'll go far enough for icing. No, they wave it off, and the Raiders try to clear it around the boards. Rupert coming in to help out. He's taken into the boards. Mankey's coming back, moves it, makes a nice move. Headman pass doesn't clear the zone. Raiders, though, dump it behind the play, and it trickles back into the Potsdam zone where Kelleher skates back forward. Raiders lead 1-0. On the Snyder and Snyder scoreboard. We're in the first period. Massena Potsdam, puck stolen away again. This time Michaud. In behind the net it goes. Levine dipsy doodles behind the net, circles, wraps it in front. Can't get the backhander off. It's cleared into the corner. Potsdam trying to control it out to center ice. Hatch throws a check. The puck squirts free. Comes back in the Massena zone. Southwick headman out to center ice. Picked up there by Joey Charleboy. He'll dump it to an open wing. Into the corner it goes. Back after Chad Southwick. He'll rip it around behind the net for Hatch. Bryan starts it out, trying to flip it ahead. It's knocked away. Side of the net. There's a battle for it. It comes out by the blue line. Poke check nicely by Michaud. Great play. And the puck out to the neutral zone. Dump back in the Massena zone. Delay offsides on Potsdam. Raiders clear it anyway. Levine. Poke checked away from him by Kelleher. Deep into Massena territory. Kelleher in after it. He takes it into the corner. He's taken out of the play. Puck back to the point. Here's a shot knocked down into the corner. Bounces free. Comes to Michaud along the boards. He just moves it to center ice to Whitcup. Here's Whitcup 1-on-2. Now Levine joins the attack. Whitcup trying to barge his way through. He's knocked off the puck, but stays with it and dumps it deep in behind the net. After it there is Devin Paquin in the corner. He can't come up with it. It's flipped around by Trevor Mason and around the boards. Kept in. Tubolino. He's got some room. Lines up his shot. McGuire makes a save. Leaves it in front. Backhander. And they score another goal. I think Whitcup got it on the way by. And Catanzari took the shot. And the Raiders lead it 2-0.
Another big turnover by the Sandstoners as they failed to clear the puck out of their own end. The defenseman down in the corner ran it on the boards, but number 20, Nick Tubolino, jumped on it, kept it in, took the shot. Williams made the save. Looked like he was going to hold it for a face-off, dropped it, and there was a scramble in front, and Adam Catanzari took the shot, and we'll see if Robbie Whitcup tipped it in, but it'll be Tubolino, Catanzari, and Whitcup, those three. We'll see how it works out, who gets the goal.
So the Raiders take a 2-0 lead here. We're in the first period. And in the zone it goes. Here's a backhander save made by Dusty DeLille as Potsdam got a backhand shot off, but the Raiders break it out quickly. Here comes Massena. Out of the zone, Devin Paquin. He'll dump it deep inside Potsdam territory. Around the horn it goes and back out to the neutral zone. Nick Toth will try to chase it down in his own end. Toth after it in the corner, comes out right side, bangs it ahead, right back in the Massena zone. Delay offsides on Potsdam. They'll have to clear the zone. Here's Toth again. This time he'll lug it. Headman goes across the blue line, just barely by Catanzari, right back out to the neutral zone to Nick Tubolino. Tubolino from the red line, dumps in the Potsdam zone, stopped there by Travis Frank. Frank trying to catch Massena on a line change, but his headman doesn't get through. Finally picking it up there and dumping it in the zone is Garish in behind the net. Casey Garish is on the injured reserve list, but he's playing tonight, sparingly we understand. Puck along the boards, Raiders bounce it out to center ice. Dumped right back in the Massena zone. Raiders lead 2-0 on the Snyder and Snyder scoreboard. We're down to 8:55 left in the first period. Massena out to center ice, stopped there by Joe Charlebois. Dumps it ahead to the Massena line, right back in the corner it goes. And after it is Aaron Leduc for the Raiders. He'll flip it around the boards. McDonald trying to deflect it out to center ice. He does. Here comes Massena. It's Hall. Takes a cross on the backhand, looking to pass. Dumps it in behind the net. Goes to Matt Webster. Webster loses it in front. Hall shot. Rebound. A good save made by McGuire. And the puck comes out to center ice. In fact, that was better than a good save as he got the pad over on that. Here comes Dupree, his pass intercepted, puck in the zone. Here's an opportunity for the Sandstoners, but it's dumped in the corner. That's Charlebois rushing it, but Leduc takes it away from him. And they're going to tie it up, and I think we're going to have our first penalty of the game, an obstruction interference behind the net.
Obstruction, we're going to see that one a lot this year. It's going to be a popular call, and it's going to go against the Raiders. Looks like Zach Dupree's going to pick it up. Those two Raider goals coming early, minute 53 apart at the 2:59 mark. Thomas Menke's his third of the year, and then at the 4:52 mark, his first of the year, Adam Catanzari with Robbie Whitcup and Nick Tubolino picking up the assists. And Raiders get that early jump, which is so important in this all-important NAC division game.
It's going to be Kelleher taking the face-off. Off the draw, the puck trickles out to center ice off a stick. Back at the point, Dan Cook for one. Here comes Massena's Whitcup stealing the puck, trying to split the D, and finally it's taken away. And in behind is Danny Cook with it. Cook will flip it over on the other side for Trevor Mason. Mason just escapes a check by Michaud, and Potsdam will break out of the zone. Kelleher. Long right wing pass into the zone it goes. That's Cook with it, trying to get around the defense. It's knocked away in behind the net and back to the blue line. Mason keeps it, flips it in the corner. It's going to go to Brian Hatch. He picks it up and looks for the loft. Clear the zone, kept in by Cook. Here's Cook, skates a shot, fired it wide. Rebound in behind the net. And back into the corner it goes. Kelleher, sharp angle shot, hit the side of the net or the goal post, one or the other. Hatch in behind, trying to come up with it. Squirts right in front, and Dusty DeLille will cover up. Raiders made a bit of a mistake there. They thought the puck was going to clear the zone, and 3 of them were headed down the ice. Well, it didn't.
And just prior to that, Brian Hatch, his first game back after missing the first 5 with mononucleosis, and doesn't have those sea legs just yet, but coach has got him out there killing penalties. Almost the Potsdam Sandstoners, that rink-wide pass almost caught him off guard.
Off the face-off, puck in the corner, Hatch with it. He cranks it to the blue line, not out of the zone, kept in there at the point by Trevor Mason. Puck in the corner as they move it around behind the net. 2-0, Massena leading. We're in the first period. Still plenty of time to get here. Here's the pass in front. The backhander knocked away by Hatch. Puck goes in behind the net again. Bernie Adams with a puck along the boards, moving it back to the blue line, and it's knocked away out to center ice by Ramo. Picking it up there is Ramo. The 2 Ramos out there killing, Ryan and Aaron. Aaron's the one that stole the puck. He takes it in behind, steals it again behind the net. Backhand pass, gets it back again. He centers it, trying to get brother Ryan, but it's poke checked by McGuire into the corner. Back to Aaron Ramo. Penalties elapsed as the Raiders kill it. Ramo's shot knocked away off a leg, trickles out to center ice. Now there's going to be a penalty on Potsdam as Ramo was railed from behind, and as soon as the Stoners touch it, the whistle will blow, and a pretty good penalty kill by Massena.
Oh, the brothers Ramo, Ryan and Aaron doing a great job. Got the puck up in the Potsdam zone, and even though Massena was down a man, those 2 guys were cycling, and the Stoners couldn't get the puck away from them. Excellent penalty killing job, and they created a couple of near scoring chances for Massena.
That was Corey Healy picking up the penalty. And so the Raiders will go on the power play here after having killed off a Potsdam power play. 2-0 Massena leading.
You mentioned Timmy Garish out there on that power play, but we'll pick it up later.
Off the face-off, Leduc at the point for Massena. He'll flip it on the 45, gets it right back again, right in the middle. Looks to pass into the corner, Whitcup. Whitcup circles, top of the circle. Looks to go back to Toth at the point, back to Whitcup. Whitcup on the off wing, goes in behind for Ramo. Back to Whitcup. Whitcup in the circle, back to the point, Toth. Toth back to Whitcup. Massena passes, Whitcup fakes the shot. Now he shoots, knocked down. Actually, I think it went off Ramo. Gets it right back again. Back to Toth at the point, back to Whitcup. Whitcup winds, his shot is blocked, comes right back to him again. But this time off a Potsdam body. Cross-ice pass, Leduc. Leduc flips it. Ramo, or Michaud rather, in behind for Ramo. Ramo circles. Ramo into the corner right side. Back to Whitcup. Whitcup back to the point. Nick Toth, 40 seconds left, winds it up. The shot deflected up into the screen. I guess not. It hit the glass. Puck goes to Whitcup off the puck board. Here's Whitcup in the circle, right in front. Ramo. Ramo shot, save, rebound, shot, save. Rebound in front. They battle for it. Where is it? Underneath. It comes back to the blue line out to center ice. Raiders with about 3 great opportunities there, and they couldn't quite put it in the net. Puck in behind, Leduc, he'll flip it around to Toth with about 15 seconds left in the man advantage. Comes to Devin Paquin, who's out there now for Massena. Paquin stick handles to the red line, trying to knock it into the Potsdam zone. It's picked up on the defense there by Joey Charlebois, who lifts it up into the penalty box, but it didn't get in the box and stays because there's a cover on it now. And right back, we're back to full strength. Here comes Toth leading the attack, cuts down the middle. Here's Toth, gets by the D. Here's Toth, the shot, fired it just wide. Nice rush by defenseman Nick Toth. Here comes Paquin, knocked off his stick, back to the blue line. Potsdam's going to have a break here, partial break. Now they're not going to, as Massena gets back. Here's a shot, it's blocked by Tubolino. Tubolino's headman knocked away by Kelleher. Kelleher in the corner, he gets knocked down. Puck bounces in front of the net. Raiders come up with a Catanzari. Headman pass, comes back to Levine. Levine busting by, and he has it knocked away at the last second by Joe Charlebois. Charlebois' headman goes in the Massena zone. Back after it is Brian Hatch. Hatch trying to flip it around the boards for Chris Levine. Levine's headman doesn't clear the zone. Here's a shot, and it goes up into the wall off a deflection. We're down to 4:08 left in period number 1. Raiders lead 2-0 on the Snyder & Snyder Attorneys at Law scoreboard.
Raiders get that puck into the Potsdam zone, and the Sandstoners having a lot of problems with that defensive zone coverage. And Nick Toth, one of his patented end-to-end rushes, he took it about 175 feet, split the defense right in on James Williams, and just kind of couldn't get that backhander off as where he wanted it. Didn't get enough on it, but a great rush by Captain Nick Toth.
It's going to be the Derek Rupert line out there now.
We mentioned,
Yeah,
sorry,
go
Jerry, I
ahead.
mentioned those injuries. Casey Garish is out there playing, but he's probably 50%. And then another fine forward with the Stoners, Richard Murphy, he broke his hand up in the OFA game the other day, so he's not even in the lineup tonight.
Off the draw, face-off, puck goes into the Massena zone. Raiders trying to clear it along the boards. Rupert, backhand pass goes to Menkes. He's got Aaron Ramo with him. Menkes busting in right side to Ramo in front, shot, save, and the puck goes wide into the corner. Great save by McGuire, a sprawling save. And now the Potsdam Sandstoners move it out to center ice. Into the Massena zone. Potsdam trying to move it around the horn, and it's knocked away. Rupert, bounce pass out to Menkes. Here's Menkes again, barging his way by one check, has it knocked away, but the puck across the blue line, and offsides will be called. Good defensive play made by the back-checking forward. That was Trace Smuts, and he stopped Menkes just enough to force the offside.
And just prior to that, the save of the game so far for the Stoners. I'll tell you, the Raiders would have scored there, made it 3-0, but James Williams coming up with a great save as Thomas Menkes down that left side, threaded a pass through to Ramo, and just a great save. And I keep saying Williams, it's McGuire.
As an Al.
Yes, an Al.
Here comes Catanzari. Nice drop pass. In front, gets it back again, but it goes in behind the net. McGuire gets a stick on it. Puck goes to Ramo. Here's Ramo looking to move it in front, but it's stick checked away. Puck in the corner. Ramo with it. He'll drop it in behind for Devin Paquin in front. Here's Catanzari. Ramo has it bounce over his stick. Comes back to the point. Hatch's shot deflected right on the rebound. Cleared along the boards. Kept in by Hatch. He makes a nice move. Takes it into the corner. Looks to center it, but it's intercepted, and it will be iced by the Potsdam Sandstoners. All the way down it goes, and the whistle blows with 2:55 left in the first period. Raiders lead 2-0 on the Snyder and Snyder scoreboard.
Ryan Ramo, who is really a magician with that stick, and is usually his strong points around that net finishing, and he's having trouble this year. In fact, he hasn't got on the scoreboard, hasn't dented that net yet, but he's had about 3 golden opportunities here in this first period. He just kind of shaking his head. The chances are coming, but he can't finish it off.
Off the faceoff, Whitkup's line out there. The puck goes around behind the net to Dan Cook. Cook has it poke checked away. Along the boards to the blue line. Tubolino can't keep it in. Here comes Potsdam into the Massena zone, a 2-on-1. Nice cross-ice pass, the shot, big save. And Dusty DeLille hasn't had to make too many, but that was a huge one.
Oh boy, he just matched James McGuire. We're talking about McGuire a second ago. Great save. Dustin DeLille just robbed the Stoners right there, and he gets a little tap from the Potsdam player, Tori Russell, who said, she just robbed me. But the Raider defenseman pinched down, lost, and Potsdam broke out. Basically ended up with a 3-on-1. Good pass across the slot. Good release by the Potsdam player, but Dusty DeLille, great save.
Off the faceoff, puck controlled by Aaron Leduc in behind the net to Toth. He flips it around the boards for Michaud. Michaud trying to move it out of the zone, bounces off a couple of bodies to the Potsdam line, to the Massena line. Leduc takes a whack at it. Where is it? Finally, it's dumped by Michaud deep in Potsdam territory. Cook after it there. Cook lost his edge, gets back up again. Coming back to help out is Marcus Kelleher. Here's Kelleher, stick handling out of the zone. Kelleher for Potsdam, right down the middle, winds up. His shot is deflected into the corner. Back in behind it goes. Matt Nichols with it. He gets upended. The puck bounces right across the goal mouth. And here comes Toth with it. Bangs it ahead, trying to move it out to, sir, that's Levine, excuse me. And to Potsdam's Matt Nichols. He drops it back on his point. It'll go to Dan Cook on the other side from the red line. He'll dump it in the Massena zone. Puck sticked into the corner and gathered in by Leduc. Leduc gets knocked down. The puck bounces in front, but is cleared into the corner by the Red Raiders. Michaud with it along to Levine. Chris Levine looking up ice. It's stolen away. Here's the shot. And another save made by Massena goaltender Dusty DeLille. The Raiders getting a little bit sloppy, and they dump it down the ice for icing. And unfortunately, I think the Raiders are getting caught up in the feeding frenzy, and now they're getting a little sloppy in their own end.
Yeah, there was a lot of mismatch inside the Raider defensive end, and that defenseman, if he's not sure, he can't come out clean. He's just got to run it on the glass, run it on the boards. But he made an errant pass up the middle and was picked out by Casey Garage at about the top of the left faceoff circle, and he turned and he ripped a good shot, and Dusty DeLille made a great save.
Garish will face off against Derek Rupert. Off the draw, here's a shot off a leg. And after it is Aaron Leduc. He can't come up with it. In the corner and around the horn it goes. Centering pass in front, knocked away. Raiders move it to the blue line. Out to center ice. Headman knocked away back to the Massena line. And it's still in the zone momentarily. Now it's back out to center ice. Intercepted there by Garish. Back into the Massena zone. and Leduc tries to move it out. Rupert has to come back for it. He'll flip it around the boards, kept in there at the point, knocked down by the Massena defense, Brian Hatch. He'll rip it around the boards the other way. Comes along the boards. Raiders try to clear the zone. They bang at it. Still not out of the zone. And Mankies finally moves it ahead to Aaron Ramo. Ramo busting down the left wing side, looking to center it. Comes back to Rupert. He whacks at it, and it's gloved into the corner by McGuire. Aaron Ramo after it there for Massena. Centers it right in front. It bounced back to the blue line. Hatch trying to keep it in, but no, Potsdam's going to clear it out of the zone. 25 seconds left in the period. Raiders come back. It's Aaron Ramo with it. Stops, looks up ice, flips it ahead, and Massena making changes here. And Potsdam moves it. Kelleher on the backhand, back into Massena territory. Aaron Leduc with it. He gets taken out of the play. The puck squirts free behind the net with 8 seconds left. Around the boards, into the corner it goes. Michaud doesn't clear. Here's the shot, and the glove saved by DeLille. He'll hold on with 1 second left in the period.
Down to 1 second, and the Stoners, after being outplayed for the first maybe 3 quarters of this period, have come on strong the last 4 or 5 minutes, and Dusty DeLille has had to come up with some big saves to keep that 2-goal advantage for the Raiders.
1 second left in the period. They're going to pull their goaltender and get that extra attacker out there. Almost have to get the shot right off the face-off.
Well, that could be 1.5 seconds. Who knows? You know, and it's time. It's conceivable if, again, he got a slow finger on the trigger.
Off the face-off. It didn't happen that time. And the buzzer's
back for the rest of the game.
Comes to the Massena line, and it hit the official. Doesn't get in. Levine picks it up for Massena. Trying to drop it for Whitcup. He's knocked down. The puck bounces free, and it's deflected up. Almost made it up here into the press box.
Well, I'll tell you, our status to my right, Sally Manor, if she would have had good hands, reached out there, she could have grabbed that thing. It was that close, but she's too smart for that. She ducks the other way, which is a smart thing to do.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I never try to get in the way of a puck. I stay right away from him. Off the face-off, Toth with it to the red line. Flips it ahead. A little bit too far for Whitcup. It comes back to Trevor Mason for Potsdam. Mason dumps it. He means to headman it, but it goes by everybody down the ice. And I against Potsdam, moving the face-off back in the Sandstoners zone.
As we mentioned, a little understaffed tonight. Richard Williams, their final forward, not in the lineup tonight, and Casey Garage playing probably at 60%. Stoners wearing their traveling blue uniforms trimmed with orange and white, blue helmets, blue socks. Raiders, of course, in their familiar home, red, white, and blue.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed.
I like those uniforms. Off the draw, goes out the center, into the Massena zone. There's a foot race for it, and Smuts gets there in behind the net. Toth takes him out of the play. The puck underneath them squirts free. Whitcup back to help out. He has it knocked away, but Toth is there. He skates it ahead. Here's Headman down the wing to Levine. Levine trying to bust by the defense. Puck is back. Levine takes it behind the net. Tried to turn the corner, couldn't do it. Makes a little nifty move. Here's Levine, centering pass in front. Oh, big save, rebound, another big save. As Michaud had a golden opportunity and couldn't quite get it. He's got the puck to Whitcup, though. Whitcup knocked away, gets it back again. Here's Whitcup in the corner, trying to step by the check. Cook takes him out of the play, comes to Levine. Levine in behind, it's swept away and around the boards. Raiders with a golden opportunity to make it 3-0. Puck goes back into the Massena zone, and here comes Potsdam. There's a battle for it in the corner. Michaud back to help out Hatch. The puck squirts in front. They got a man, shoots and scores. And coming in, Bernie Adams gets Potsdam's goal to make it 2-1.
I tell you, I was just going to say at the next break, the toughest lead to protect is a 2-0 lead. The next goal, look out. And the Raiders could have, should have, would have bet up 3-0, but somehow goaltender McGuire was able to stop Aaron Michaud when number 15, Chris Levine, did yeoman work setting him up down there. Comes the other way, Potsdam gets the puck up, picks the puck up in the corner after a Raider turnover, and Adams just coming off the bench, coming late. No one saw him. He sifted down through, took the pass and one-timed it and beat Dusty DeLille high over the shoulder, just underneath the crossbar.
And that'll make it 2-1. So the lead is 1 now for the Massena Red Raiders. Back into the zone it goes. Corey Healy back there. And we see Corey was down as a forward, but he's playing some defense for Potsdam as they're a little bit undermanned. Puck in the Massena zone now. Picked up there by the Raiders, Chris Olsen. He banks it off the boards and down the ice into Potsdam territory. Healy after it there. Flips it around the boards. McDonald steps in front. trying to go back to Catanzari. Puck comes to Hall. He'll bounce it in behind the net for Zach Dupree, rather. Dupree has it knocked away by line, kept in at the point by Massena's Olsen. Puck comes back to Olsen. This time he can't keep it in. Trickles into the Massena zone, and Toth will have to come back and pick it up. Raiders lead cut to 2-1 here in the second period. Here comes Toth with it. His head man doesn't clear the zone. Potsdam keeping it in. They dump to an open wing. Olsen after it. Can't come up with it, but it's flipped ahead out to the neutral zone. McDonald has to come back for it. And the bouncer across into the Massena zone, right back out again. Dupree with it. He fanned on the pass, gets knocked down, and the puck is dumped deep in the corner. Behind the net, DeLille. He'll flip it around the boards for McDonald. McDonald in the 45 has it knocked away. Now Hall throws a check. Puck comes to Toth. He flips it to the blue line. Here's a shot from the point. DeLille makes a pad save. Puck in the corner. Along the boards it goes. Trickles and bounces back in behind the net. Brandon Hall after there can't come up with it. Here's a sharp angle wraparound attempt, and DeLille is going to have to cover up and hold on for the face-off.
Okay, the momentum has shifted to the Sandstoners. Torrey Russell almost jammed one in from the side as he outworked the Raider defense behind that net. And just prior to that, number 7, Matt Nichols, just a sophomore, throwing his weight around. Not very big. He's probably about 5'8", 150 pounds, 140 pounds. As he comes to the bench, everyone gives him a pat on the backside because he flattened a couple of Raiders out there. The momentum has shifted to the Stoners right at this stage.
Ramo, face-off. Clear, didn't get out of the zone. Now it does. Devin Paquin, he'll flip it ahead. Gets it back again, takes it in left wing side. He's got Ramo breaking in front. He fired it wide. Puck around the boards. Paquin again. What a great pass by Devin Paquin, and Ramo just fired it wide. Here comes Potsdam. Out to the neutral zone, bouncing around off a couple of skates into the Massena zone. After there is Leduc. He's ridden hard into the boards. Puck bounces free side of the net and trickles all the way back to the blue line and out to center ice. Right back comes Potsdam's Dan Cook. His shot right on. DeLille has to be quick on that one. Puck comes to Ramo. Ramo flipping around for Catanzari. Knocked away. Into the corner it goes behind the net. And Aaron Leduc will pick it up. Headman to Paquin. Devin starts it out. Bounce pass. Ahead it goes. Ramo breaking in right side. Here's Ramo. Skates in front. Shot right on. The save made. Nobody following. And McGuire left a big rebound. Now comes back to Ramo. Ramo in the corner. Takes it. Centering pass in front. Here's Paquin's shot. And I think that went just wide. Catanzari there as well. Comes to Leduc at the point. Leduc flipping in the corner. Gets it back again. His shot right on. McGuire makes the save and holds on for the face-off. We're down to 10:51 left in the second period. Corky's Collision scoreboard says 2-1 Massena.
And that Potsdam score, we meant score Bernie Adams from Stephen Smalling and Joe Charlebois coming at the 1:27 mark of the second period.
Face-off back in Potsdam territory after the save by McGuire. Rupert's line out there now for Massena. Rupert wins the draw. Back to Toth. His shot is blocked. Goes bouncing in behind the net. Round on the other side, Matt Webster. He'll dump it back the other way. It'll come around the boards to Bobby Ellis. He moves it out to center ice. Toth right back to Menkes, who dumps it deep again. Potsdam territory. Webster has to come back for it for the Sandstoners. Ramo throws a check. The puck squirts into the corner. Over on the other side, Charlebois has it knocked away. Bouncer in the circle to the blue line and trickles out to center ice. Knocked away by Rupert. Rupert by his own blue line, circles back in his own zone, looks to move it ahead. Menkes, nice move. Headman pass Ramo. Menkes gets it back again, trying to go to Ramo. Knocked away. Back the other way comes Bobby Ellis in the Massena zone. Here's Ellis with it in the corner. Centers, hits the side of the net, and Dusty DeLille's going to cover up and hold on for the face-off. 10:06 left. Period number 2, 2-1 Massena leading on the Corky's Collision scoreboard.
Sandstoners undefeated in this early going. The 2-0-2 record. Their two ties coming against Kenny Atlas and OFA, and I think that's the only NAC encounter they've had. The one against OFA. Raiders coming in with a 2-2-1 record with 1-0 in the division.
Whitkup's line out there against Kelleher off the face-off. Puck goes in behind the net to Whitcup. He has to go back for himself. Flips it around the boards for Levine. He'll start it out. Levine, bounce pass, goes by everybody back in the Potsdam zone. Trevor Mason gathers it in. Rips it around the boards. Hatch coming, trying to pinch it in. He can't. And here comes Potsdam to the Massena line. Across the blue line it goes. Here's a chance for Cook. Shot hit the goalpost. As Massena got caught up ice again, and Danny Cook rang it off the goalpost. Now the puck goes bouncing in behind the net. Picking it up there. Here come the Sandstoners right across the goal mouth in the net. And I think that went off a Massena defenseman. And that'll tie it up at 2. I think that'll be Matt Nichols getting the goal.
The Potsdam forward, innocent-looking shot in the corner to the right of Dusty DeLille. Just wanted to center the pass. We'll wait and see. It might be number 17. That is, it's Trevor Mason? No, maybe it is
Was it
Nichols.
17?
I'm not sure, Jerry. Maybe you're right. Maybe it was 7. We'll wait and see. But he just wanted to throw it out in front, and it hit something in front of the net and trickled by Dusty DeLille.
It is Nichols. Yeah, he threw it from behind the net. I think it went off a Massena defenseman.
I agree.
So the Raiders now, after a 2-0 lead and dominating play, have kind of slouched off a little bit, and we're tied at 2. Puck at the blue line out to center ice. Here comes Potsdam's Kelleher back in the Massena zone. Trickles right on, and DeLille will hold on for the faceoff.
Matt Nichols with Torrey Russell picking up the assist. This is the 5:29 mark. Again, this was just a centering pass from the left corner that hit something in front and trickled in behind Dusty DeLille. But the Stoners, after being down 2-0 early on, have tied this game up.
Off the faceoff, puck stolen by Massena out to center ice. McDonald couldn't quite gather it in, though. Now Dupree flips it ahead to the Potsdam line. Back to Dupree again. He lost it off the end of his stick. He'll chase it down, throws a check. The bouncing puck in the Massena zone. And into the corner it goes. Olsen blocks it into the corner. Here comes back to the point for Potsdam. Here's a shot through traffic, goes in the net. And it's 3-2 Potsdam. And I don't know if that was deflected in front or just over the shoulder, but the Sandstoners have come roaring back and have taken a 3-2 lead.
Innocent-looking shot from the left point. I think Travis Frank took it. We'll wait and see if it did hit something. But again, it found its way in behind Dusty DeLille, and Dusty has really lost his confidence right now. He's shaking it a little bit, shaking his head a little bit right now. And the Stoners, 3 quick goals in this second period have rocked the Raiders. Massena right back on their heels. When they had them 2-0 and could have put it away with that third goal and had several opportunities, couldn't finish. Back come the Sandstoners, and bingo, before you know it, it's 3-2.
Here comes Devin Paquin busting into the Potsdam zone. Looks to go back to Hatch at the point. Here's Hatch, winds up his shot in behind the net. Looking for a deflection there. Puck, Paquin again in the corner. Paquin trying to center to Catanzarite. Knocked away from him, comes to Ramo. He can't control it. Back by the blue line. It's out to center ice. Here comes
Nichols gets the goal. Jerry did hit something in front. His second goal to them in 39 seconds. The shot was taken by Travis Frank from the point. It hit Matt Nichols on the way through, and the Stoners, in a matter of a little less than 5 minutes, have scored 3 goals and taken over this hockey game. They've got Massena back on their heels.
Massena looking disorganized right now after really controlling most of the first period. Puck dumped deep in the Massena zone. Around the boards it goes in the corner. Matt Webster goes to Catanzarite. His headman doesn't clear the zone. Trickles into the corner. Leduc rips it around the boards for Paquin. Paquin looks up ice, trying to move it ahead. Where is it? Along the boards, and finally it's flipped out to the neutral zone. Dan Cook with it. Cook circles in his own end, flips it ahead. Paquin keeps it in the zone. Here's Paquin in behind the net, looks to center, but it's knocked away at the last second. Comes to the blue line. Leduc, he'll flip it along the boards in the corner. Around behind the net it comes, and it bounces free left corner. Racing for Webster for Potsdam along with Ramo for Massena. Puck still goes to Webster. He'll rip it around the other way. Will Leduc keep it in at the point? He does. He slides it free, but it's knocked away. Here comes the puck out to the neutral zone. And to the Massena line, it's intercepted. Paquin again. Paquin's headman pass. He's got Menkes breaking in. Menkes shot save made McGuire. Menkes gets it back again. And the shot by Aaron Leduc, he fans on it. And it trickles in on McGuire. Golden opportunity for Massena again. They just can't score all of a sudden.
Thomas Menke, again, a turnover, what they call those dangerous turnovers just outside your blue line or just inside your blue line. Potsdam turned it over, and Thomas Menke's just coming off the bench. Had a breakaway right in, but he telegraphed what he was going to do. He told McGuire that I'm going to go to the backhand, and it was pretty evident, and McGuire did stay with him, made Menkes make the first move, and then he stuffed him. And as you mentioned, Aaron Leduc had a great opportunity in the rebound.
Off the faceoff, puck comes into the corner. Aaron Ramo with it, knocked away, gets it right back again along the boards, bangs at it. And it's finally taken away by the Stoners. They break back 3-on-2. Here's the headman. Into the corner it goes, in behind the net. Nick Tom throws the check around the boards. Bounces free along the blue line and back into the corner. Picked up by the Raiders. This time it's going to be Chad Southwick the other way. To Aaron Ramo. He flips it, not out of the zone. throws a check. The bouncing puck comes to the Raiders. They can't clear the zone again. Here's a backhander knocked down in front, clear to the blue line. Mankeys can't get it out of the zone. It's dumped in behind the net. We got another penalty on Massena. Sandstoners will touch the puck. No. Massena, I was going to say, will touch the puck. They finally do. And the whistle will blow. And now Massena in a bit of a hole here, trailing 3-2. Will have to try to kill off a penalty.
I think it's going to be young Chad Southwick going to get the call for interference as he dumped the Potsdam player right in front of the net, and referee Butch Martin right on the spot. And so the Raiders really rocking. They're going to have to tighten up their belt and kill off this power play. Can't give us the Stoners any more.
Oh, that's for sure. Southwick for interference. Off the face-off. Puck goes right in front. Here's the backhander, doesn't get it off. Now the shot, and the save made by DeLille as the puck came right back on the stick of the centerman, Steve Smalling. He got it off, but it went up over the net into the wall.
And Tracy Smuts was right in the slot. That 9 left to go. It's Steve Smalling, but there's two Raiders right there. They're fishing for the puck. If they Smalling on his backside, he doesn't have an opportunity to score. They got to put him down right there, and that's it. Apparently,
Potsdam fired it off the ice surface because the face-off moves outside the zone. Whitcup for Massena comes to Duke. He'll flip it out to center ice. Controlled by a high stick, but Potsdam gathers it in, so that's waved off. And it's stolen away by Michaud. Aaron Michaud dumps it to Whitcup, and he touched it with a high stick again. It amazes me that they can touch that puck on the way by with that stick. The hand-to-eye coordination is amazing.
It is.
Now Potsdam moving it to the neutral zone. Inside Massena territory it goes. Trevor Smuts knocked away from him. Back out to center ice. Here comes the bouncer. Michaud picks it up. Here's Michaud across the red line. Makes a move by one, makes a move by two. Takes it in, left side, winds up, fakes a shot, then a short side shot. Save made by McGuire. Puck along the boards. Michaud throws a check. Lost his stick and then just gloves it into the corner. Potsdam starts back the other way. Michaud off the ice. Here comes Potsdam. Winds up the shot. Deflected to the blue line. Bounces into the corner. After it, Leduc picks it up. Trying to rip it around the boards. It's intercepted and picked up by Joe Charlebois. His shot knocked down in front. Bounces in behind the net. And finally, it's going to be Hatch with it. Hatch ridden hard into the boards. Puck comes free. Potsdam's Kelleher picks it up. Back to the point. They can't keep it in the zone. Cook. And it comes out to center ice as the penalty elapses. So the Raiders dodge a bullet there and kill the penalty. But Potsdam with a puck has it swept away. Southwick to Ramo. Ramo across the line trying to feed it to Paquin. Paquin in the corner. Circles back the other way. Gets tied up by Cook. The puck gets free. He tries the center, but it's knocked away and out to the neutral zone. Here comes Potsdam. Into the Massena zone they go. That's Matt Nichols, who's got 2 goals tonight. Flips it in behind the net to Kelleher. Hatch gets there first, flips it in front, but it's stolen away. Here's a backhander, save made by DeLille, who came way out of the net that time. Kelleher now, stick handles in the corner, but it's stolen away by Ramo. Ramo rips it around the boards, all the way back to the blue line. Cook will keep it in. Flips it along the boards. Now the Raiders move it out and down the ice. They wave off the icing. Catanzarite racing after it in the corner, looks up, trying to center Ramo. It's poke checked away by Cook. Good defensive play. And the puck along the boards, kept in there by Olsen. Here's Chris Olsen, flipping it along the boards to Catanzarite. Knocked away from him. Back toward the blue line. It trickles out to center ice. Nick Toth. Open wing. Ahead to Paquin. Paquin backhands at Potsdam zone. Cook flips it to an open wing. Takes a funny bounce. Olsen at the blue line. Trying to headman it. Stolen away there. Back inside is Ellis. Ellis, his shot. And DeLille makes a save. Holds on for the faceoff. 3:29 left in the second period. Corky's Collision scoreboard reads 3-2 for Potsdam.
Stoners trying to extend their streak over the Raiders. Blanked them last year 5-1 and 5-2, and looked like that was going to end here. The Raiders jumped out to a quick 2-0 lead, but as we mentioned, back in a little over 4 minutes, scoring 3 goals.
Off the faceoff, Potsdam with a puck. They flip it in the corner. Toth picks it up. There's Toth, his headman, a little bit too far. Intercepted by Joey Charlebois. He moves it ahead, gets it right back again. Charlebois at his own blue line, out to the Massena line. Raiders try to flip it ahead, knocked away. Comes back inside Massena territory. Nick Toth with it. He'll rip it around on the other side. Zach Dupree. Dupree's bouncer doesn't get out of the zone. He takes a check. Puck bounces free. Trickles back to the blue line. Good job back checking that time by Hall. Now the puck dumped back in the Massena zone. In behind the net is Nick Toth with it. Toth lifts it high in the air. And where is it? It was deflected by the glove up into the Potsdam bench. That was the defenseman Travis Frank. And with 2:50 left to go in the second period, it remains 3-2 for Potsdam on the Corky scoreboard.
Coach Ed Latham, couple of little juggling on his lines. The Robbie Whitcup with Aaron Michaud, Chris Levine stays intact. Derek Rupert and Thomas Menke's Aaron Ramos stays intact, but he's shifted around the Ryan Ramos centering Adam Katanzaric and Devin Paquin, and Brandon Hall's gone to center between Zach Dupree and Eric McDonald.
Kelleher out there to take the face off, but it's Massena. Here comes Menkes on the off wing. Menkes takes it in. Here's Menkes, steps in front, shot, score! Thomas Menkes gets his second goal of the game, and the Raiders have tied it at 3.
Thomas Menkes, that was a 1-on-4, and a real soft play by the Potsdam defense. There's no way that Thomas Menkes should have been able to cut in, but he just went down that right side, not with a lot of speed, and there was, I say, 4 blue shirts back there, but determination. Thomas Menkes just put that shoulder down, cut in, and he's on the off wing, and he's able to have that. When he gets to that forehand, he's got that full net to shoot at, and somehow he beat McGuire to the stick side low. Great effort by Thomas Menkes.
Nowhere near the best chances Massena's had tonight, but
1-on-4 situation, just a...
So Thomas Menkes gets the goal, puck in the corner, Massena zone. Here's a centering pass in front, and Ledoux can't come up with it. Here's a chance again. They deflect it right across the goal mouth as Ramo had the good opportunity. Comes back to Hatch at the point. He flips it by, but it's knocked away and bounces just out to the blue line. Out to center ice to the Massena line. Hatch trying to come up with it. He finally does, takes it in behind his own net. Here's Hatch with it for Massena. He's rubbed off the play, loses sight of it. Now it comes to Rupert. He kind of steps by a check, kicks it ahead, goes to Ramo. Ramo just banks it off the boards. Cool play there to the Potsdam line. Back after it, Matt Webster flips to the Massena line. Leduc is there, dumping it back to the Potsdam line. Here come the Sandstoners. Webster dumps it deep. That'll be icing against Potsdam as he was trying to hit, who was that breaking? Stephen Smalling, but it was a little bit too far ahead. And with 1:39 left, the face-off will move back inside Potsdam territory. Or was that an offsides pass, apparently?
Thomas Menkes really, tell you, that goal couldn't have come at a better time because the Raiders were almost dead in the water, but just a great effort by Thomas Menkes, his second of the night, fourth of the year, has tied up this hockey game. That coming at the 12:20 mark with Derek Rupert picking up the assist.
Off the face-off. Puck controlled by the Stoners. Dump into the Massena zone. It's going to trickle right in on DeLeo. He'll cover it up and hold on for the face. Of course, we've mentioned many times, Coach, hockey a game of momentum, and the Raiders now have to take advantage of the momentum from that goal.
And we said many times that just after a goal has been scored, you know, it really spurs you and puts the opposition right back on their heels.
Off the face-off, puck sits in the circle. Who's got it? Potsdam. They dump it in the corner, in behind the net. Nick Toth after it. He gathers it and then flips it over the other way to Michaud. Aaron Michaud looking up ice. Moves it ahead high in the air, bounces out to the neutral zone, back in Massena territory. Back after it there for the Stoners. Stephen Smalling knocked away, gets it back again, trying to flip it along the boards. Who's got it? Potsdam in the corner. In behind the net it goes. Some good work there by the Sandstoners to the blue line. Shot deflected, and the puck comes to Michaud, rather. He flips it ahead. Here's Robbie Whitcup with it. Whitcup takes it across to Levine. He'll dump it deep in Potsdam territory. Round the horn to the blue line, kept in. Levine trying to flip it through. Whitcup trying to barge his way through, but it's knocked away by Healy, and he dumps it, but not out of the zone. Here's Whitcup with it. Whitcup trying to flip it in behind the net. Really had nobody to pass it to, has to go in behind. Picked up by the Stoner defense, they move it back toward the blue line. Whitcup throws a check, takes the puck, goes to Levine. Chris Levine in behind, has it knocked away, goes off a couple of legs, and finally to the blue line and not out of the zone. Raiders keep it in the zone, bounces to Joey Charleboy. His headman goes to the Massena line and all the way back in the Massena zone with 10 seconds left. Here comes Massena's Michaud trying to flip it ahead. Can they get it? Yes, they can. Katanzaric, nice fake. Here's a shot. Ramo, and he can't get the shot off with 1 second left as the Raiders come close to getting that go-ahead goal, but we'll go to the... Okay. You know, I was going to say before you gave me any...
Good effort. Good outing.
Yes, it was. Off the face-off. We're underway here in the period. Into the Massena zone, right back out to center ice. And it trickles back into Potsdam territory, back after it. The Raiders try to keep it in, but they can't, and ahead it goes Smuts loses. Levine back the other way from Massena, trying to go to Whitcup. Whitcup takes it into the corner, chases it in the corner, can't come up with it. Tries to come around the other side to the blue line, but not out of the zone. But Potsdam will gather it and start it out. Charlebois, he's a good player, and he dumps it deep in Massena territory. Takes a funny bounce into the corner. Around the boards, Garish. Garish looks to center, nobody there. Goes all the way back out to the neutral zone where Danny Cook picks it up. And this just scares the heck out of me, seeing Danny Cook out there. I remember when he was just a little guy. Of course, all these people were little guys at one time or another, weren't they? And I was a big guy then. Here's a shot from the point, wide by Potsdam. Puck comes around the boards. Michaud can't come up with it. Bounces, took a funny bounce off the Massena defenseman into the corner. After it is Hatch, trying to get along the boards, gets it back again. He'll start it out. Here's Hatch skating down the left wing side from the red line. He'll dump it in Potsdam territory. Levine and Cook go after it. Levine comes up with it behind the net, makes the move, but Cook stays with it, loses it in front, bounces free, into the corner it goes. After it, Devin Paquin to the blue line. Nick Toth with it. Toth trying to flip. It's intercepted. Potsdam will break. Kelleher. Marcus Kelleher takes into the Massena zone. Winds up. Big glove save. That was headed for the corner as Dusty DeLille just got the glove on it. Holds on for the face-off.
Oh boy, I guess that was headed for his corner. Top shelf, and that was labeled Marcus Kelleher at a full head of steam. Crossed the blue line. Used the defenseman as a screen from about 40 feet out. Ripped one. Looked like Dusty was going to his right, but he came back with that quick left hand and snared her. That was in the net.
3-3 tie hockey game. Puck in the circle. Here's a shot. Bouncing around to the blue line. Danny Cook winds up through traffic, deflected right on. DeLille makes a save. Puck goes bouncing in front of the net, but Ramo picks it up. But we have a whistle. We're going to have an interference call on Massena, so the Sandstoners will go back on the power play again as Devin Paquin gets the interference call. And
the Raiders have come out flat in this early going, and the Stoners haven't. They're right up pressing Massena, and just a couple of great saves by Dustin DeLille. Potsdam on the power play.
It'll be Kelleher taking the face-off against Ramo. Kelleher wins it back to Cook. Cook winds. His shot deflected. I don't think it got through, though. Puck cleared around the boards. Ramo looks to move it out to center ice and does. Goes to his brother, Aaron Ramo. Ramo and Cook spar. The bouncing puck back to the neutral zone. Here comes Kelleher with it. Across the blue line, has it stick lifted. Puck comes free. Ramo trying to go to Tubolino. Tubolino has it knocked away. Here comes Kelleher in front, drops it back to the point. Here's a shot deflected right on. And I don't know if Ramo got that on the way by, but DeLille makes the save and holds on.
The Raiders had the Stoners right where they wanted them as this game started. Had them a couple of injuries, got Potsdam not in that first period, not playing up to their game, but they've got stronger as this game progressed, and they're applying all kinds of pressure to Massena at this stage.
Face-off inside Massena territory. Potsdam on the power play. Off the face-off puck, Whitcup kicks it in behind. And falling down on top of the puck and making a pretty good play was Aaron Leduc as he gloved it into the corner. And what do we got? A whistle, and I guess it went off the ice surface, and they're going to move it outside. It went off a Potsdam stick.
48 seconds left in the penalty to Devin Paquin. Face-off, as Jerry mentioned, outside the Raider blue line. Raiders defending the goal to our left, the east end. The Stoners to our right.
Off the draw, puck comes to the neutral zone. Here's Dan Cook, skates into the Massena zone. He'll dump it in the corner. Around the horn it goes. As Potsdam tries to control it, Smalling in behind. Leduc takes it away and flips it around the boards. It comes back to Charlebois at the point. Oops, it went out, back in, but it's knocked down the ice by Aaron Michaud. Stopped in behind by McGuire. Michaud rips it around, or I should say McGuire rips it around the boards, and it's out to the neutral zone. Michaud steals it again. But Cook takes it into Massena territory. Leduc after it behind the net. He and Kelleher go together. The puck squirts free in the corner. Robbie Whitcup after it, trying to clear the zone, kept in by Charlebois. Goes into the corner and back to the blue line and out to center ice as the penalty elapses, and we're back to full and equal strength. Here's Charlebois, shot from center ice. The rebound comes into the corner as DeLille made the save and left a huge rebound. Camille all the way back to the blue line. The second shot went into the corner. Puck in behind, controlled by the Sandstoners as they battle for it. Torrey Russell goes back to the point. Here's a shot blocked. and out to center ice. Brandon Hall, he's got Zach Dupree 2-on-1. Hall takes it in, feeds it across. Dupree shot saved by McGuire, and a nice one coming across the ice on a nicely executed 2-on-1. Potsdam trying to break to the Massena line, and in the zone it goes. Here's a shot right across the goal mouth. Here's a backhander right on. The rebound cleared to the blue line. Another shot goes in behind the net. And finally the Raiders pick it up, and that's Eric McDonald. McDonald trying to clear it out to center ice does. Dupree flips to an open wing. Potsdam coming very close to scoring there. Now it's Kelleher at the red line. His pass goes by everybody. Eric McDonald flips it off the boards. Kelleher again into the Massena zone, barges through. Here's Kelleher trying to get by the Massena defense. Circles back the other way, back to the point. Here's a shot deflected into the corner off a Massena skate. And the Raiders clear it down the ice. What do we got, a delay penalty or icing? That's icing, I guess. And we did have a delay penalty, and it's going to go against Potsdam for hooking.
I think it's going to be number 44, Bobby
Zach
Ellis.
Dupree ended up on his backside as 44, that was Bobby Ellis, gave him the hook.
A couple of great scoring opportunities at both ends. Zach Dupree and a great setup from Brandon Hall, but McGuire just super save as he read the pass. And then back the other way, Big Joe Charlebois stepped off the point, walked right down from 35 feet out and had that wide open corner, and he fired it wide.
Raiders go on the power play here. Haven't had one in a while. And now would be a golden opportunity to get one.
Sure would. They're 1 for 13 on the power play before tonight.
And Potsdam with a puck. They're going to break in the zone, but offsides will be the play.
Ooh, boy.
That was close.
That was close. Potsdam, number 8, that's Stephen Smalling, sent in. He got in behind the defense, and Casey Garish stole the puck at the red line and fed him a quick pass, and Smalling about a half a stride offside. If not, he's home free from the blue line in.
Whitcup will take the face-off. Whitcup wins it back to Toth. Toth goes to Hatch. Hatch circles back, flips it, trying to go to Toth. It's knocked away. Now Nick. Raiders will move it ahead. Hatch man, Michaud. Michaud dumps it. Around the boards it goes. Back in Potsdam territory. Stoners clear the blue line. Toth keeps it in. Whitcup loses it in his skates, trying to come up with it. He can't. Puck still in the zone, cleared out to center ice, and Toth just got a stick on it. Dumped right back in the Potsdam zone, goes right in on McGuire, leaves it in behind. Michaud picks it up. Here's Michaud setting up the power play, in behind a Whitcup. Whitcup circles, back to Michaud at the 45. Michaud got Hatch at the point, instead goes to Whitcup, who steps in front, cross ice pass shot, another save by McGuire. Great chance there. Ramo with another golden opportunity and fired it right at McGuire. Back into the Massena zone. Here's Toth with it, looking up ice. His headman hit Robbie Whitcup in the backside. And the puck along the boards. Whitcup takes it back again. Trying to flip it ahead, has it knocked away. Here comes Charlebois. Charlebois shot, hit the side of the net with it. Goes in behind the net, and it's picked up by Massena. And they're down to 5 seconds in the power play. So they're going to squander this chance. Raiders move to Ramo with a 2-on-1. Here's Ramo and Michaud. Ramo skates it, centers it in front. Michaud, and he couldn't get the shot off. He was tied up. And a good back check by Torrey Russell that time broke up the play. Now the puck goes up into the stands, and we'll have a face-off. 8:38 left in the third period. And on our Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard, we're tied at 3.
Raiders don't get quantity on the power play, Jerry. When they do get a shot, it's usually a quality opportunity, and I don't know whether you. I like a lot of shots there, but they set up working around, and the great opportunity. Aaron Ramo on his off wing to the right of McGuire, and they slid it across to him, and he had looked like 3/4 of net, but somehow McGuire got across and beat him.
Off the face-off, puck back to the point to Bellino, trying to flip it through. It comes in front, shot right on McGuire, rebound, and McGuire's on top of it as Aaron Ramo was banging at it. And a good save by McGuire that time.
Again, this line, Menkes, Ramo, Aaron Ramo, they're a thorn all the time. Thomas Menkes, 2 goals tonight, leads this Raider club in goals with 4, and they're always a threat out there.
Face off to the right side. In Potsdam territory, off the draw. Here's a shot. Leduc save made on the glove. Right off the face-off, right to Aaron Leduc. He didn't get as much on it probably as he would have liked, but it was headed for the corner, and McGuire makes the glove save. Face-off again. The puck trickled right on again. McGuire has to take it in the corner. Cook with it, moves it to the blue line and out to center ice. Coming up with it there, Tubolino, trying to anyway. He'll dump it back in Potsdam territory. Goes in behind the net. Picked up by Webster, rips it around the boards to the blue line, not out of the zone. Leduc trying to flip it in the corner. Goes in behind the net. McGuire way out to play it. Mankies, Aaron Ramo to Leduc, sharp angle shot right on. And again, the save made by McGuire. He'll hold on for the faceoff.
Face-off so important, especially, offensive end, defensive end, really important. The Raiders do an excellent job. Robbie Whitcup, all those centers, Ryan Ramo, Derek Rupert, he just won 2 key draws. The first one, both of them, he got to number 3. They bring the defenseman down on that strong stride right to the top of the circle, Aaron Leduc, and both draws right on his stick.
Ramo takes the face-off. That's Ryan Ramo. Potsdam wins the draw. They dump it deep in Massena territory. In after it there is Torrey Russell. Russell and Toth go together. Toth wins that battle. And the puck, Devin Paquin. Ahead to Ramo, 3-on-2. Ramo's headman pass right back again. Here's Ramo right down the middle, shot! And he hit the defenseman with it, goes up over the net. Devin Paquin in the corner, steps by the check, but he's taken out of the play now. And Kelleher has it. Ramo trying to bother him. Now they're going to go back and forth, and they let that one go as the puck comes back into the Massena zone. Matt Nichols, nice centering pass, trying to go to Cook, pinching in a little bit too far away, and the Raiders move it ahead to the blue line, but not out of the zone. Knocked away by Paquin. It does come out to center ice. Kelleher is there. He'll dump it from center ice into the corner. Nick Toth back after it. Still 3-3 tie hockey game on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard. Toth out of his own end. He'll flip it ahead, goes by everybody. They got to wave that one off. Oh, boy. Oh. I mean, Matt Webster just watched it go by. Oh. He could have played that easily, but nope, they blow the whistle for icing. And down the ice it goes into the Massena zone.
I can't believe that Butch made that call, number 5, Webster. I mean, he just could have... He pulled his stick back, actually. It was so obvious. He wanted to change. And, oh, boy.
Face off in the Massena zone, right side. Robbie Whitcup will take the draw. He wins it in behind for Tubolino. Tubolino behind the net, picks up a couple of forecheckers. Puck stolen away, they center it, but it's going to go all the way back to the point. And in fact, trickles back in the Potsdam zone. Charlebois back after it. Skates behind his own net. Makes a nice move and flips it ahead out to the neutral zone. Tubolino comes up with it. Can't come up with it, dumps it in the zone, and it trickles back in Massena territory where Aaron Leduc has it. He'll rip it around the boards. Stopped by Levine. Levine's headman doesn't clear. Kept in as they battle it in front, but it's going to come to Tubolino. Poke checked away. Right on. The puck gets away from the goalie. In behind the net. It finally goes free to Tubolino, and Massena will break out of there. Michaud building up the head of steam down the left wing side. He'll take it across and lost it. It comes back out to the neutral zone. Picked up by Leduc, but Ramos, or I should say, Michaud's deep, and Potsdam will dump it into the Massena zone, and this one they wave off. And nobody could have gotten that one. Now the puck around the boards in the corner. That's Aaron Ramo. Has it knocked away, gets it back again, and it comes to Rupert. Rupert circles. Nice headman to Aaron Ramo. Ramo coming down one on a lot. Here's Ramo in left wing side, takes it wide, in behind the net. He's still got the puck, still controls it, circles in front, goes back to the point and out to center ice. Here's Hatch. Hatch flips it into the corner. Cook after. We're down to 5.5 left in the third period, and it's a 3-3 tie hockey game. The puck dumped down the ice, and will it go far enough for icing? It does, and the faceoff will come back in Potsdam territory. 5:23 left third period, 3-3 tie on the Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard.
Raiders out to 2-0 lead. Stoners storming back, getting 3 in a row, and then Thomas Menke for the second period, and no one's been able to lines in this third period. Both clubs having some good opportunities. As we mentioned before, this one's coming right down to the wire.
We've got Ramo out there with Michaud and Catanzari. That's a different combination.
Coach Latham trying some more different combinations.
Off the face-off, Potsdam controlling, breaking out of the zone. Torrey Russell going wide. On top gets a shot off. Easy save. Puck in behind the net. The wraparound attempt. Rebound. Another shot. Save cleared in behind the net. Puck along the boards, they move it in front, but this time Raiders clear it to the blue line, out to center ice. Couple of big saves for Dusty DeLille. Here's Ramo with Catanzari. Takes it across, over skates, gets tied up and can't come up with it. Kelleher takes it away. Flips it around the boards, to the blue line, out to center ice, to the Massena line. Leduc takes a whack at it, flips it back to Levine. Levine trying to go to Ramo. Ramo trying to skate by the defenseman. He can't. His Cook makes a good play. Flips to the Massena line. To Bellino. Backhands it to Catanzari. Catanzari gets knocked down. The puck dumped back in Massena territory. Here's Leduc with it. Leduc steps by the checks. Gates into the corner. Here's Leduc, has it taken away. And Potsdam controls it in front of the net. Where is it? And finally in the corner. Catanzari doing a good job back checking that time. Puck along the boards. Potsdam trying to keep it in. Massena clears it out. Here comes Catanzari, busting by the defense. Here's Catanzari, nice pass to Levine. Levine takes it in on the off wing, can't get the shot off. Circles behind the net. He's got Whitcup, can't see him. Now he flips it. Whitcup in behind. Robbie Whitcup centering pass knocked away, and the puck goes in the corner. To the blue line, down the ice it goes, and that'll be far enough for icing, I do believe, as the whistle blows, and we'll have a face-off.
Matt Nichols has got 2 for the Stoners tonight, and I'll tell you, he thought he had his third and maybe the game winner just a few moments ago, as he had Dusty DeLille down flat on his side, and the puck about 5 feet in front on his stick. All he had to do was get it up. He tried. Somehow Dusty came up with a big save, got that glove up there. Big save by Dustin DeLille.
We've got Michaud out there to take the face-off. Off the draw. Puck in the circle. Michaud battling for it, trying to go to Whitcup. Back to the point, Hatch. Hatch flips it. Michaud for Whitcup in behind. Here's Whitcup and Charlebois. Whitcup to Paquin. In front to Michaud, back to Paquin. He can't get that shot off, and the puck bouncing free. Here comes Potsdam breaking out of the zone. Sandstoners. And offsides will be the call. And I'll tell you what, it was Casey Garish trying to get in the zone, and then he saw a check coming and sideswept it, but that caused the offside.
The Raider flirting with the danger here in this late going, getting caught up in the offensive thrust, and the Stoners getting a couple of blue shirts in behind.
Off the face-off, puck at the line. Here's Whitcup 1-on-2, takes it in off wing side. Robbie with the puck, lost it, gets it back again. Here's a short side by Michaud, save made. Here Potsdam trying to clear the zone, they don't. Comes to Paquin. Paquin centering, Whitcup shot. Knocked down in front. Paquin shot off a leg. And Potsdam goalie, McGuire, had no idea where that was, but it didn't go in the net. And the icing on the ensuing play will move off. Rupert's line out there. He kicks it free, but Potsdam clears it out to center ice. Comes to Nick Toth. Raiders, Potsdam tied at 3. That'll be icing on Massena, as Toth tried to flip it ahead but got too much on it. We're down to 2:54 left in the third period. Tom Post State Farm Insurance scoreboard says 3-3.
We mentioned Colin Lazaire, a big part of this Raider defense, getting hurt in that first period. Hasn't been back, and I have word that he was taken to the hospital. Looks like an ankle injury. We're not sure how severe it is, but he's sorely missed out there.
I guess you don't know how much you miss the guy till he's gone, and he has been sorely missed. Puck in behind. Hatch flips it to Toth. Toth along the boards. Raiders look to break it out. Don't. Puck kept in by Cook. Knocked down. A battle for it. Kept in at the point. In behind the net. Hits the back of the cage. And Rupert comes back after it. He'll flip it along the boards. Raiders try to move it out of the zone. Here's Cook's shot is gloved. And DeLille will hold on for the face-off. That was way off net. But DeLille decided to grab it.
Mentioned Danny Cook back at the point for the Stoners. Another blue chipper they've got back there, a name synonymous with hockey in Potsdam. Charlebois, Joe Charlebois, just a sophomore, big one, 6 foot, about 185 pounds, and they hear a lot of good things about him. Bobby Offeld, who broadcasts for Potsdam, raves about him, said he's going to be a good one.
Well, certainly his dad, whose name is also Joe, was quite a player. Off the face-off, puck trickles to the blue line. Raiders move it ahead. They got Levine breaking. Here's Chris Levine in the left wing side. He's bodied off the play. Good defensive play by Mason. Now the puck comes back to Levine. Levine moves it in front. Here's a battle for it, and Potsdam comes away with the puck. Nichols with it. 1-on-2. Nichols breaks in the zone. 2-on-1, I should say. The shot, scores a goal! Matt Nichols gets his hat trick to give Potsdam the lead 4-3 with 2:05 left in the third period.
Well, again, we talked about the Raider defense getting caught up in the offensive thrust, and that time one of the defensemen got caught down at the top of the circle on the offensive end. Potsdam gained possession and broke away, but it wasn't going to be too bad. It was going to turn out to a 2-on-2, but the defenseman and the forward got their signals crossed, Jerry. The defenseman had the forward on the outside. He should have stayed with him because the back-checking forward had the other trailer, but they both went for the guy without the puck, and as you mentioned, Nichols walked right in and from a pretty tough angle beat Dusty DeLille.
So now the Raiders trailing with just 2:05 left. And I think somebody, probably Massena, is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, timeout Massena. 2:05, and I'll tell you, Matt Nichols is a natural hat trick, 3 in a row, and none any bigger than that last one. But again, this the Raider defense, were down under 3 minutes and got caught up in that offensive thrust. The Massena had the puck in the zone and throwing it around some. But the defenseman on the left side pinched down. He got caught low. Potsdam took the puck, made that transition. Away they went. But again, it started out as a 2-on-1, but a good back-checking effort. I didn't pick up the forward. Was coming back for Massena, created a 2-on-2. The defenseman didn't realize that, or he should have realized it, but he didn't. He should have stayed with the guy who had the puck. He sloughed off and came to the guy without the puck, and there were 2 men on that Potsdam forward, and allowed Nichols to go in uncontested on that right side, and from about the dot, just below the dot on that right side, beat goaltender Dusty Clary with a shot high to the right-hand corner.
So a 4-3 Potsdam lead with just 2:05 left in the third period.
Well, this has been a up and down roller coaster effort for both these clubs, and the Raiders storming out 2-0, then falling behind by 1, coming back. But the Stoners, you have to give them credit. I tell you, they just keep battling and doing the things they have to do. And all they have to do is, for 2 minutes and 5 seconds, protect a 1-goal lead.
Off the faceoff, puck in the Potsdam zone. Cook with it. He'll flip it off the glass, not out of the zone. Here's Whitcup. Whitcup feeds it to Michaud. Michaud, short side shot, goes in behind the net. Whitcup battles for it. Can't come up with it. Now in there is Paquin. Paquin to Whitcup to Michaud, rather. Back to the point. Here's a shot right on. Rebound. Score! Devin Paquin ties it up. And here we go again. A 4-4 tie hockey game.
Again, the key thing was the shot, and that was Aaron Leduc from the left point, took the shot. The Raiders, good hustle. I don't know who's going to get the other assist, if it's going to be Michaud or Whitcup, but they threw it back to Leduc on the left point. He stepped down and took a low bullet. And Devin Paquin in the right spot at the right time, again, just about where he was when he got that winning goal against West Genesee. He's parked to the right of the goaltender. McGuire makes the save, but gives up the rebound, and the Potsdam defender didn't tie up Paquin, and he just put it in the empty net.
So now we're tied at 4 with about a minute and a half left to go in the hockey game. Here comes Ramo with it. He dumps it deep in behind the net. Catanzari chasing in after it. He's upended. The puck comes free to Levine. Levine back to the point, but Hatch can't keep it in. Hatch circles, flips it ahead for Levine. Levine dumps it deep. It's going to go right on, and in the corner it goes. Now Catanzari throws a check, comes up with a puck, kind of gets knocked down. Levine digging for it in the corner. Catanzari has it poke checked away. We're down to about a minute left in the third period. 4-4 tie hockey game. Puck along the boards, trickles out to center ice. Hatch is there to dump it deep in Potsdam territory. Goes in behind the net to lay offsides on Massena, but Potsdam clears the zone. Here come the Sandstoners to the Massena line, and into the zone it goes. Nick Toth after it. Flips it around the boards. At the point, Charlebois makes his move, then flips it on the 45 right across the goal mouth, but it's going to trickle in. And Brian Hatch doing a good job tying his man up in front.
Boy, those forwards in dying seconds like this, you've got to be in good position in your own end. And the Raider forward on that right side was not. He got down too low, and Nick Toth ran the puck on the boards. He should have been there, but he was going the wrong way, and it came right back to the Potsdam defenseman, back to Charlebois. And the Raiders have dodged a bullet there, but you've got to play good, sound position hockey in your own end in the dying seconds in a tie hockey game.
35 seconds left in the third period, 4-4 tie. We've got Whitcup out, and I think Potsdam's going to call their timeout now. Yep, that's what it is. We've seen it all, haven't we?
That tying goal, Devin Paquin's goal coming at the 13th, 17th mark, his third of the year. Michaud and Leduc picking up the assist. Aaron Michaud doing yeoman work in the corner, outworked, got the puck, threw it back to the left point, and Aaron Leduc stepped down. Again, a nice low shot. Those are the ones that give goaltenders problems. He made the save, McGuire made the save, but he couldn't handle the rebound. And again, Devin Paquin, good spot, right time off that crease, and he got the stick down, and the defenseman didn't tie him up. He was right there with him, but he didn't put his stick on stick, and Devin batted it in that open net. I'll tell you, he got a big one the other day, and he has the chance for getting those crucial goals, and not any bigger than that one.
Tying goal.
Other team gets a goal, they're in charge. A great, again, it's not, again, the classic, it's not the textbook style, but it's got a lot of excitement.
I'm not sure either coach is going to be real happy with the way their team played in this game, but like you say, it has been exciting. Face off in the Massena zone. Whitcup will draw against Kelleher. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner. Whitcup goes after it himself and comes out of the fray. Robbie Whitcup, nice bounce pass. Devin Paquin. Paquin back to Whitcup. Whitcup can't quite get it. In the corner, flips it in front. Michaud cruising in after it, throws a check. He and Kelleher go together. Coming in to help out is Paquin and Whitcup. Puck squirts free, and back comes Potsdam the other way. Into the Massena zone it goes, 10 seconds left. Trying to bust by, it goes in behind the net. 5 seconds, 4. They go back to the blue line and out to center ice. We're gonna have overtime in this one, folks. As her out there with Healy and Nichols. You want Nichols out there, that's for sure. He's got 3 already off the face-off. Whitcup, and Kelleher's got the puck. Banks it to the Massena line. Into the zone it goes. In behind the net, it's Hatch. Brian Hatch gets upended. The puck comes to Whitcup. Whitcup trying to flip it along to Michaud, who banks it out to center ice. Joe Charlebois back after it. Charlebois, headman pass, Hatch intercepts. He'll take it across, gets by one. Here's Hatch, Charlebois takes him out of the play. The puck ripped around the boards on the other side. Nick Toth pinches in. He'll try to flip it into the corner. He does. Devin Paquin. Paquin steps by the check. Paquin moves it to Whitcup. Robbie takes it behind, has it knocked away. Paquin back in it right across the goal mouth. Oh boy, great opportunity. Potsdam looks to clear. Toth keeps it in. Nick Toth trying to flip it, goes in behind the net. Picked up there by Charlebois. Charlebois off the glass, doesn't clear the zone. Hatch flips it. It's knocked down, still in the zone, in the circle. Where is it? In the corner. No, it's Potsdam with the puck. To the blue line, out to center ice. Hatch with it, has it knocked away. Here comes Torrey Russell. Into the Massena zone. He's got a man breaking. He feeds it right across the goal mouth, but it's wide. Puck goes along the boards to the blue line, out to center ice. Here comes Ramo. He's got Catanzarite breaking. Feeds it to him. It's a little bit too far. Catanzarite in the corner. It's going to be icing. And the faceoff will come back in the Massena zone. 3:39 left in overtime. We're tied at 4.
Ryan Ramo, right idea, just a little too much on that pass as he saw Adam Catanzarite in behind the defense. He tried to bank one off the dasher, but a little too much mustard on it. Just prior to that, Devin Paquin found himself in possession of a loose puck in behind the net, swooped out in front and just slid it across the crease, missed that far post.
Face off in the Massena zone, off the draw. Raiders control it to the blue line. Cook keeps it in, flips it around behind the net. Ramo throws a check. Tubolino trying to come up with it. He can't. Potsdam with a puck. In the corner. Now back out by the circle. Here's a backhander right on. And Dusty DeLille has to make the save. As coming out of the circle was Stephen Smalling. And nobody really picked him up. And he got the backhander off, but not a lot on it.
And every shot, no matter how soft it is a tough shot in overtime, Jerry. Every shot.
Because there's no tomorrow, when it comes to overtime. Off the draw, puck in the circle again. There's a battle for it. To the blue line, not out of the zone. Puck knocked down in front and poke check behind the net. Finally, it's picked up there by Massena's defenseman, Leduc, and he'll flip it ahead to Ramo. Ramo with it, goes to Catanzarite, takes it across, centers it right in front. Here's a shot, Ramo. The save made, just wide. Puck in the corner. Catanzarite trying to come up with it. He and Cook spar. The puck comes free. Ryan Ramo in front to his brother, and he couldn't get the shot off. Here comes Potsdam back the other way. Dan Cook with it. Into the Massena zone. Stops, gets the shot off, fired it wide. Puck around the boards to Ramo. And out to the neutral zone. Couldn't catch up with it. Here's Charlebois. Joey Charlebois builds up a head of steam. Flips it ahead into the Massena zone. The shot trickles right on, and DeLille's going to cover up and hold on for the faceoff. 2:32 left. Third in the overtime, 4-4 tie hockey game.
And Dusty DeLille not taking any chances. He knew the Raiders needed a line change, and that's easy shot came into him, but he decided to hold on, get the face-off. Smart move. The Raiders definitely needed a change. Down 2:32 left in the overtime.
Kelleher will face off against Whitcup. Off the draw, puck in the circle. Kelleher has it, gets a backhander in front. Where is it? It's underneath. Nick Toth is where it is. And there's a Potsdam player getting up off the bottom of that pile as well. And we'll have another face-off. I think they got their face masks caught together or something.
It's number 6 down there, I think Tory Russell. But Nick Toth doing an excellent job. As that puck came into the slot area, no one knew where it was, but Nick realized if the Potsdam player doesn't have his stick on the ice, I got it tied up. There's no way he could shoot it. And they both went down on top of the puck. Another face-off to the right of Dusty DeLille.
Kelleher against Whitcup again. In the overtime, off the draw. Puck goes wide into the corner. Kelleher after it. Looking to go back. No, he's going to keep it. I thought he was going back to the point. Now he does. Shot through traffic, knocked down. Paquin and Mishaw did a great job partially blocking as the Raiders clear the zone. Right back comes Potsdam. Cross the blue line. And they bounce it in behind the net. Hatch after it. Clears it along the boards. Paquin, he gets tied up. Puck squirts free to Whitcup. Whitcup, headman, Mishaw. Mishaw goes back to Whitcup. Whitcup takes it across with Toth. Whitcup trying to get by the D. There's Whitcup in front. Shot right on. Save made. Puck comes all the way back to the point. There's nobody there. Here comes Potsdam breaking back the other way. Mishaw and the Potsdam forward go together. Hard check thrown there. Puck in the corner. Picked up by Whitcup. He circles back. Headmans it down the ice. That'll be icing on Massena if it goes far enough. It just barely makes it across the line with 1:28 left in the overtime. 4-4 tie hockey game.
You know, a lot of times you come out of your zone. You don't want to give it up frivolously in the sense that we want to come out clean. We've heard me talk about this many times, but especially in overtime, you've got to make sure. And a couple of times the Raider forward that had a chance to clear the zone, but wasn't sure if he could hit a man, so he held onto it, lost the puck. Last thing you want to do in your own end, especially in overtime, just dumping off the boards.
Face off in the Massena zone after the icing. It'll be Ramo. Off the draw, Raiders win it. Aaron Ramo gets out of the zone. That time he was fortunate. Dumps it deep in Potsdam territory. In behind the net. Circling is Catanzari. In the corner. Check thrown, kicked ahead. Potsdam trying to clear the zone. They just trickle it out. And it trickles into the Massena zone. Leduc steals it. Flips it ahead, doesn't clear the zone. Kept in by Cook. His shot deflected into the corner. A minute left. In behind the net it goes. Back after it there. The Stoners control it. They got a man in front. And I don't think it got through.
It hit Tavolino's stick.
Now along the boards. Puck goes in behind the net. Hard check thrown. It comes to Ramo. Ramo takes it from behind. Moves it to the blue line. Doesn't get it out of the zone. Trickles into the corner. Now it's just out to center ice. Back in the zone. Raiders are going to clear though. Trying to move it ahead. Aaron Leduc has it knocked away, gets it back again, loses it, bounces into the corner. They get a man free in front, and Tubolino blocks the play. Where is it? Puck in behind the net, trickles into the corner. Tubolino has it knocked away, and it comes free. Raiders are going to ice the puck. For some reason, had a clear path out of the zone, and the Raider defenseman decided to ice the puck.
Well, I think they were all out of gas, Jerry. All 5 of them. They needed a change so bad, and they again were lucky to get out of that situation. They turned over a couple times on 3 occasions, had a chance to clear the blue line, and didn't for whatever reason. And the Stoners, and I think again that was Nick Tubolino, down lane, prone on the ice, was able to intercept that 2-on-1 pass because that blue shirt was all alone out in front of DeLille.
He was all alone.
But they definitely needed a line change there.
Kelleher will face off against Whitcup. Off the draw, puck goes in the corner. After it, Mishaw, Whitcup, Mishaw, down the ice it goes. Here comes Massena breaking in Paquin. Paquin takes it in front. Shot, score! Devin Paquin with 1 second left in the overtime. Paquin gets the tying goal. Paquin gets the winning goal. He used Robbie Whitcup as a decoy, and the Raiders win it 5-4. Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you, you couldn't get any more dramatic finish than this. Devin Paquin picked up a loose puck in the neutral zone, stepped down that right side, around the defender, and roofed one. He came in and walked right in again. He's a left-handed shot.
It's still in there.
It's still in there. Come upstairs, just underneath the crossbar. Oh, what a finish. And at this, I'll tell you, Potsdam was putting on all kinds of pressure, had several opportunities, outplayed Massena in the overtime, but the Raiders catch the lucky break, and Devin Paquin finishes it off.
Devin Paquin, he gets, he had a big goal the other day against West Jenny. He had 2 big goals here this evening against Potsdam. Unbelievable. Again, the Raiders score with 1 second left in the overtime to defeat Potsdam 5-4. Stay tuned. The postgame show is next on WMSA.